These are some of my thoughts about what it takes to change habits. So, and how do we maintain those habits for the rest of your lives? I've thought a lot about this as a chiropractor, and one of my number one goals is to take somebody who doesn't realize how bad they are off. They're sick, they're not well, yet they don't seem to have the motivation or the ability to make changes. So I've come to understand something about what it takes to make changes. And this is my part about how I believe it has to do with a purpose. You must have a purpose greater than yourself. This is not the same as a goal. A purpose in this context is a defined reason to exist that's bigger than yourself. You might want to be there for your family or to create a work situation which interests you. You might want to be better for the humanity, and people can see the changes in you to carry the message forward, so to speak. You might want to be an example for your friends, your coworkers, and your family. Some want to make a difference in the world by being that example for others. Your purpose might be freedom from medical tyranny, to not allow your body to become sick, weak, and vulnerable. When we allow ourselves to be sick, we become a slave to our body, and thus you become a slave to disease, infections, viruses, medicine, drugs, and invasive procedures are your bedfellow. Because you're sick, you have to rely on those things. But if you're healthy, you wouldn't rely on those procedures, and thus you'd be free of that tyranny. And knowing that you could have been prevented these with simple lifestyle changes is very empowering. When someone has a purpose that's greater or a reason bigger than themselves, it then becomes quite easy to make and change those bad habits that might be interfering with your overall purpose. Without a greater purpose, it is difficult to want to change your personal life. Without a greater purpose, it is very difficult to change bad habits. For many of us, our purpose seems to be summarized in this simple statement: what about me? Without a higher purpose to guide us, we are selfish and self-centered to the core. Our selfish nature is all about us. What I want, how quickly can I get it, what makes me happy, what makes me angry, what can I get from you, and you are taking this from me. We become protective, insecure, and greedy. This leads to criticism, self-righteousness, anger, resentment, and jealousy. This attitude, all about me, is what leads to a lot of bad habits. Bad habits like self-pleasure, self-grandiosity, self-seeking, overeating, overindulging in alcohol, use of recreational drugs, unusual physical and mental thoughts, behaviors like porn, sex addiction, theft, violence against others, and many other negative traits or habits come directly from that "what about me" attitude. If left uncorrected, these self-interested, self-seeking behaviors lead to many health problems, social problems, spiritual sickness, legal problems, drug addiction, and eventually jails, institutions, and hospitals. Bad habits like not exercising, eating junk food, eating dead and devitalized food, overeating, not being able to cut down on sweets, being addicted to carbs, being addicted to sodas and energy drinks. As we continue to become sicker and sicker, we can actually feel like we'd rather be dead than go on with this horrible life. When you have a bigger purpose than all about me, or something to look forward to for the betterment of others, we find it much easier to develop better habits that support us, because our new goal is what we really want, and that is to support other people, and our habits become less self-seeking and less all about me. And our new thought is, how can I be helpful? Because of a greater purpose, you will naturally become more willing to change your bad behaviors to serve other people, or to serve the goal that you've decided, and your greater purpose. So eating better, exercising more, not smoking, staying away from excessive alcohol, not isolation, becomes easy, since now we want to be part of life again. This is because of our new, better purpose. Listen, I've been in practice for 33 years. It is hard to change your habits if you have no purpose. But when you realize that we're all connected as one in this universe, that if you can improve your health and you improve your life, you will be improving others' health and others' lives by your example. When you show others that you can achieve success in your own health, which is the most important asset we have, others will see that in you and will want to emulate what you have done, and this brings the respect and the admiration that we all seek. Others will begin to look up to you, sometimes for advice, but more often than not, just an example of how they could or should live if they really wanted to. In my opinion, having a greater purpose in your own life is probably the most important first step that has to be taken if you want to change bad habits. Because without the greater purpose, all the other decisions that have to be made concerning food, exercise, and cleanliness will seem like chores. They become burdensome, and we don't want to do them for very long, since no one likes chores. But when your purpose is higher than yourself, such as being an example to other people, to your family, to your children, at work, to your community, then those changes become empowering, and you want to make those changes, and you want to stick to those changes because of the obvious benefits. So I hope this makes it understand a little bit about changing habits. If you don't have a greater purpose, it's really hard to change habits, because when you do it for yourself, you're taking away from me. You're taking away my food. You're taking away my relaxation. You're taking away my only enjoyment, which is ice cream at night. You're taking away my cigarettes. It's me. But when you realize that your children and the people in your life look up to you and will emulate you, it makes it really easy to change those habits because you keep an eye on the bigger purpose. I hope this makes sense to you, and this is really the first step that anybody should do before they really want to change their habits. Thank you. This is Dr. Rissacker from the Slim Body Laser Spa.